Hey, how's it going? Chris Winger here. Welcome to my Halloween Q&A, which I decided to do in my Halloween costume because I wasn't invited to any Halloween parties this year. And if you're not into video games and you're wondering who I'm supposed to be, it's Super Mario. So let's answer some questions. I haven't read them in advance because I thought it'd be funnier if I didn't know what you guys were going to ask me, in case you ask something embarrassing or funny and it's going to catch me off guard. So let's get on with it. Okay, so first question is from Fake Voorhees. Congrats on 5K. Thank you. For the Q&A, what are your 5 favorite lesser known horror movies? Lesser known. I guess Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, if that counts. I know it's not that obscure, but it's not well known. So yeah, this is hard. I have to think. Lesser known. I need to go take a look at my movie collection. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So I haven't really had time to think, but I'm just gonna throw some cool ones out there that not everyone's talking about. And first one that came to mind was Häxan, which is a Swedish production. It's a silent film from 1922, I think. It's a Danish director. It's kind of a documentary about witches, but the practical effects and the imagery in that movie is so cool, especially for its time. It's absolutely incredible. Recommend that one. And also I wanna say Frankenhooker, because yeah, that's a fun little movie that you don't hear people talk about too often. It's not super obscure or anything, but it's it's just a super silly, fun 80s horror comedy, and it never gets boring, and it's not too long, so you never get bored of it. It's just silly fun all the way through. And yeah, Frankenhooker. And what was I thinking about? Oh yeah, there's also a movie called The Nanny. It's a Hammer production, but it's not one that gets mentioned too often. It's not your typical Hammer movie. It's not a gothic horror. It's more of a suspense, kind of Hitchcock thing. I think it's Betty Davis, that is her name, right? Yeah, I think she's in that. And it's really, I haven't seen it in years, but yeah, that one is good. What do we have? Valerie, Nanny, Frankenhooker, Häxan. I said 5. I had another one in mind. Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. The Vampire Doll is a Japanese gothic vampire movie that's really cool. I love that movie, and yeah, I never heard anyone talk about that one. So there you go, 5 movies. Let's move on to the next question. Happy 5K, Chris. Thank you. This is from Beatrix Betwixt. If you could take any horror movie character and have them cross into any TV series, who would it be and what show would you want them to be in? They can go into any genre show. Also, what kind of candy would they occasionally snack on? That's a fun question. Any horror movie character. Okay. In any show, I would probably take, let's see here. I would take Jason Voorhees and put him in the Swedish 90s drama series Rederiet, which takes place on a boat, and he would snack on. He doesn't really eat stuff, does he? That would be pretty dumb. Jason Voorhees is kind of a boring choice. Maybe I would take Sadako from The Ring and put her in Tre Kronor, which is another Swedish drama series from the 90s, and she would occasionally eat a hot dog. Yeah. Next question is from Ray Ginn, or Ray Ginn, I think. I don't know how to pronounce all you guys' usernames. I hope you don't mind. What got you into filmmaking? Who, what, when, where, why, how? Happy spooky season. Well, happy spooky season to you too. You know, I always wanted to make a movie, but I've never really. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. You asked me what got me into filmmaking, and I want to make movies, but I guess you could consider what I do filmmaking, in a way. You know, I do these little bits and sketches and stuff. But yeah, what got me into wanting to make YouTube videos, I think, probably started with James Rolfe over at Cinemassacre with the Angry Video Game Nerd and all that stuff, and Monster Madness. I'd watch Monster Madness every October. I think if you ask any YouTuber that talks about video games or movies that are around my age, they're all gonna tell you that James Rolfe had a big impact on them. So yeah, him, and also JonTron, if you know JonTron. Most of you probably know. I think he was the one that really made me want to make, like, specifically YouTube videos. When I started out with my old channel, I had another YouTube channel before this one. When I wrote the scripts and the jokes for my videos, I almost heard JonTron's voice in my head, doing all the little sketches and stuff, because I was so, like, I wanted to do what he did, and it didn't always work out because I'm not him, and I'm not really, I tried to do all this, like, his humor. I love him. I love his style of humor, and it's super funny, but it's not my style really. I'm not loud and in your face and like that the way he is, really. If you know me, you know I'm pretty, like, quiet and calm, and but when I started out, I tried to do what he did, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But eventually I started being myself more in my videos and leaning into who I am and kind of exaggerating that, and basing my comedy off of me, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm answering your question. This is what I do. I just start talking. But I want to make movies, and you asked me what got me into filmmaking, and I guess I've always loved to, like, shoot stuff and record stuff, especially comedy stuff. And in my teens, I started watching more horror movies because I've always been fascinated by horror and ghost stories and stuff. But when I was a kid, I was I'd still watch some of it, but I was too scared to watch most of it most of the time. But as a teenager, I stopped being scared and I started watching all these horror movies, all the classics, The Exorcist and Halloween, and then I moved on to, like, the classic Universal horror the Universal monster movies, Frankenstein, Dracula, and then I moved on to Hammer, and I got really into horror, and I realized that I want to make movies myself. And we shot a little slasher movie back in high school, and I tried making a short film at some point, but making a movie is a lot of work, even if it's just a little short film. So I haven't really done anything other than my YouTube videos, and that takes up a lot of my time too. But I want to make movies. I want to shoot at least short films, and you can do it if you want to. If you really want to, you can even do it by yourself just during the week and just shoot something and make it. So again, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but yeah, basically I watched a lot of horror movies and I wanted to make them myself. So hey, sorry to interrupt the video like this, but I didn't feel like I gave you a proper answer, because the real reason that I want to get into filmmaking is not as simple as I saw a bunch of horror movies and then I wanted to do that too. The real reason is because the ideas that I have, the stuff that goes on in my head, can be kind of abstract sometimes, and I find it hard to express those ideas through words and even through painting. I'm not a good enough painter to do that, but I feel like film is the only medium where I could really realize my ideas, because you have such a freedom to do almost anything, with film, in a way that you can't really do in any other medium. Maybe video games, I don't know, but that's why I want to make movies, because because I have all these weird ideas that I don't know what they mean sometimes, but I know how they make me feel, and I can convey that through film, and I think you can see that in my videos sometimes. That's the reason why. Back to the video. Yeah, let's move on. Ghost in the Graveyard asks, fun. If you found yourself in a scary movie, what characters from other movies would you hope showed up? As colleagues, antagonists, colorful locals, your choice. First one I can think of is probably Dale Cooper, because that feels like a guy that you can trust. Like when you watch Twin Peaks, you feel like, yeah, I'd like trust this guy with my life. I want him on my side, so probably Dale Cooper. Then again, he got that thing with Bob going on, so I don't know. But yeah, probably him. And who else? From other movies. Maybe... Oh, I know. Ruth Ann from Northern Exposure. I just like her. She's my favorite character from that show. So, yeah, she could definitely be a storekeeper in my horror movie. Wait, you said other movies. Gosh, this is hard. Uncle Buck from Uncle Buck. John Candy. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Pippi Pie 1115 asks, will you ever come and visit us here in the UK? We have amazing spooky places for you to see. GB. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will. I want to go to Whitby, I think it's called, where Dracula, the Bram Stoker novel, takes place. I know they do some pretty cool stuff around Halloween, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna go to the UK someday. Probably for Halloween. I think so. Yes. Yes, I will. Okay. Z963124 asks, You are one of the best, most original creators on YouTube. Thank you. What is your favorite part of the creative process for a video? And what is the least favorite part? My favorite part is probably the editing, because I think editing is a lot of fun when you see everything come together and you add music and yeah, all that stuff. That's when the magic happens. And of course, if this counts, when I upload it and I share it with you and I see all your comments and all that, that's the best part, of course. But I guess that's not part of the creative process. And my least favorite part, some days it can be really hard to just write a script. Some days the words just won't come to you. Anyone who's ever tried to write something knows what I'm talking about, of course. And just shooting. I mean, shooting is fun, but it's hard sometimes to just start shooting. It's hard to just start doing stuff sometimes. But yeah, writing the script is probably my least favorite part, because I'm not good with words, especially since English is not my first language, since I'm Swedish. My vocabulary, sorry. See what I mean? My vocabulary is not, it's a little bit limited, and sometimes I don't know how to express how I feel about things through words. So yeah, writing a script is pretty hard. Rasmus809 asks, congrats with the 5K, man. Thank you. What games have you been playing as of late? I've been playing Ghost of Yotei, which I thought was really good. At first I liked it even more than Ghost of Tsushima, I think, because it was kind of more of the same, but just more and better. And it's insanely beautiful, the landscapes and everything. And I thought that the character had a little bit more, like her backstory had some more weight to it. I like Jin from the first game too, but if you compare the two, she had her parents killed and all that stuff, and in the first game his uncle was kidnapped. Don't get me wrong, I love that character from the first game, and I love the first game, it was great, but but as the game went on, Ghost of Yotei, I found myself less and less invested in the story. So in the end, I think Ghost of Tsushima hit a little bit harder. But yeah, they're both great games. So that's what I've been playing lately. And what else? The first Fatal Frame game, I finished it recently. I've only played through the second one, which is fantastic. So I played that one. That one's great. It's a PlayStation 2 game, so now I'm gonna play the third game. But I haven't started it. And I just started replaying Resident Evil 7 as well. That's a good one. Yeah, that's what I've been playing lately. Waterbakey4330 asks, what have given... Oh, sorry. I'm not wearing my glasses. You've given us a pretty good idea of your taste in horror movies. So I'm curious to know what some of your favorite movies outside of the horror genre are. Also, what's the best city in Sweden, and why is it Lund? Is Lund the best city in Sweden? I don't know. I haven't been to all of them. Best city in Sweden, I can't answer that. I don't go to the cities that much. I've been to Gothenburg quite a few times. That's nice, but I'm not really a city person. So I don't know what the best city in Sweden is, but my favorite movies outside of the horror genre, that's a pretty easy question to answer, because actually most of my favorite movies are not horror movies. like my absolute favorite movie of all time is Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. That's like my number one favorite movie. And also, you know, Home Alone, the first Home Alone, American Movie, which is a documentary, but it's so good. If you haven't seen American Movie, you have to watch that one because it's fantastic. And Muppets Christmas Carol. What else do we have? Groundhog Day. I love Groundhog Day. Yeah, there's more, but yeah, those are like the ones that pop up in my head that are not horror movies. Lydia L555 asks, congrats on 5K. Thank you very much. Would be awesome to hear more about your dog buddy. What's his story? Alfred. He's, I don't know where he is. He's scared of tripods, so he's probably in the bathroom somewhere hiding. But yeah, I got him when he was a puppy from a dog breeder back in 2015. And he's 10 years old now. He's going to be 11 in April. Yeah, he's a good boy. He is a really good boy, actually. He never chewed on any shoes or anything like that. Sometimes when I'm not around, he likes to sleep on the couch, which he's not really allowed to do, but he just looks so comfy when he's asleep in the couch, so I just let him. Are you allowed on the couch? Busted. Yeah, and he's old, but he's still a big puppy most of the time. He's he's a golden retriever. He's a big goofball, super friendly to everyone, loves everyone. He's a really nice dog. Lulu MC asks, yay, so exciting. Yes. What camera do you use? I'm assuming you use a hard drive to store your filmmaking as well. I also have a golden retriever boy. Oh, how nice. Golden retrievers they're the best. My camera is a Sony. Hold on. Sony FX30, which is pretty good. It's like it's affordable, but you can shoot a movie on it. It's pretty good. And yeah, I don't have a hard drive where I store all my videos. Actually, I have a USB stick, but I'm gonna need a hard drive soon enough because at some point I realized I can't store everything on my computer. But yeah, I'm getting a hard drive because videos take a lot of space. Mars Mellon asks, question 1. What schools have you gone to? Does your artistic talent have anything to do with your occupation? Your art is very you and unique, and so is your videos. Question 2. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel? Did you one day just start filming, or did you have a clear vision in your mind? So, first question number 1, what schools have I gone to? I actually started working after high school, so yeah, I only went to senior high, and then I started working at my dad's workshop, like a tire. We sell tires, we fix tires, and I'm still working there. So my art doesn't have anything to do with my occupation. No, it's just a hobby that I do. I don't sell a lot of paintings. I don't paint that much these days, as much as I used to, because I'm doing YouTube, but it takes up a lot of time. But yeah, I want to paint more. and if I can do YouTube full time, then I'll have more time to paint. So hopefully I can be a full-time artist and YouTuber at some point. But right now I change tires for a living. So please sponsor me. And question 2, what inspired you to start a YouTube channel? Yeah, as I said earlier, James Rolfe, JonTron, and you asked, did I just start filming one day? Yeah, I did have a vision. As I said, I wanted to do something similar to what JonTron was doing, like funny movie reviews, maybe video games. But yeah, I thought about it for years. But then, yeah, one day I just said I'm gonna make a video today, and I made one, and I uploaded it, and SVT, which is like the Swedish television run by the government, they have a few channels, they blocked it in Sweden because I used some copyrighted material. So that was the story of my first video that I made. And yeah, I basically just said, I'm gonna make a video. I wrote a script, did everything pretty much in one day, real fast. And I've been doing it ever since. Sounds like ever since. Sounds like such a long time ago. It was like last year or something. But moving on. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce some of these usernames. Queen. Hey Chris, I would love to know what your favorite myths and monsters are. I like Swedish folklore, so I guess my favorite one is Tomten, which I could talk about for hours probably, because you know, today he's a symbol of Christmas, and he gets mixed up with Santa Claus a lot, and it's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but basically he started out as this small bearded man with gray clothes who is invisible for the most part, who watches over your farm, and you have to like treat him right and treat the animals right and give him porridge every Christmas, and he will help you. And if you upset him, he'll kill your cow or something like that. But yeah, I've always loved Tomten. Because I love Christmas, and you see them everywhere. You see him everywhere during Christmas, and as I said, it's a long and complicated. He has a long and complicated history with Christmas, because he had nothing to do with Christmas at first. But yeah, Tomten, and yeah, that one is my favorite. But of course, I love ghosts, and we have some ghosts here in Sweden too. We have some old ghost stories, and I love trolls. Are pretty cool. Yeah, Maran is a pretty scary one. She sits on your chest in the middle of the night and paralyzes you. I think it's. I think when people had sleep paralysis, sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis. Am I saying that right? I think so. Back in the day, I think they would say that that was Maran riding you. So that one is pretty creepy. Oh, let's move on. Gloom and Bloom. Not Gloom Man. Gloom and Bloom TV. Okay, first question. Have you ever lived anywhere other than Sweden? No, I have not. I've been to other countries, but I never lived there. Question 2. When's your birthday? Just because it's fun to know. October 15th. So you missed it. No, I'm just kidding. It'll come again next year. Question 3. Can you talk more about your past relationships and friendships? I too need friends, since I've had to leave literally everyone behind due to growing up and not wanting to be around drunks or addicts. Addicts, not addicts. Like, come on, can't we just battle it out online or local? Yeah, that's too bad that you had to leave your friends behind. Yeah, as I've grown up, there are a lot of friends that I don't hang out with anymore too. Not because I don't like them, but because you know, they move away, and I don't. I have like one really good friend that I hang out with now and then, and that's kind of all I need. I have family and stuff, of course, and past relationships. Yeah, I've had some girlfriends, some pretty long relationships. My first relationship lasted 8 years. Second one lasted 7 years. Unless you count my like high school girlfriend that I was together with for like a summer. I don't know if that one counts, but yeah. And friendships, well, as I said, I have this one really good friend that I love to hang out with now and then. We're like super tight best buddies, and we can talk about anything, and we've been friends since I mean, we went to school together ever since we were kids, but when we went to high school, I moved in. My mom moved to a house in a village, in the same village as him, so we became neighbors and we started hanging out a lot, and we've just been really good friends ever since. So, yeah, and I have other friends that I see like now and then, but it's not very often. Question 3. You had 2 question 3s there, but that's okay. There's a ghost. Do you have any horror movies in the works or in the realm of imagination that you'd like to one day achieve? Yeah, I'd love to make a horror movie. But yeah, I have some ideas, but they're not really horror movies. It's more like comedy stuff, but really weird. There could be some elements of horror in there, but yeah, if I made a short film, it'd probably be comedy. But I really want to make horror movies too. But I don't really have like a good idea for a horror movie that I want to make right now. Like, of course, I have some ideas that have been floating around my head, but not like a good movie, like a complete movie. So I don't know, maybe I'd make it would probably be like a ghost movie, very atmospheric, a bit of surrealism, something like that. Yeah, good questions. Film Witch Pod, which is a pod you guys should listen to. She's pretty great. Asks, hi Chris, 5K is so exciting and you deserve it. Thank you very much. Yours is one of my absolute favorite channels on YouTube. Thank you. I'm curious about how Swedes generally celebrate or don't celebrate Halloween. Do kids trick or treat? Do people decorate? What do Swedes like to do in the fall? Also, where is one of your favorite spooky places to visit? Here in the US, my family and I love to go to Salem. I was wondering if there is a place known for being spooky or odd like that in Sweden. Yeah, Halloween hasn't been around for that long in Sweden. I think we really started celebrating it in the 90s. But since I'm born in 92, I grew up with Halloween, and I've always loved Halloween. This jacket is pretty warm. I'm just gonna take it off. Yeah, we do pretty much the same stuff that you do. We carve pumpkins, and we decorate with like ghosts and stuff. We don't go all out the way you do in the US. Like, you're not gonna see those big skeletons and like stuff all over people's yards usually. I bet someone probably does that, but yeah, there's mostly like a jack-o'-lantern here and there and some ghosts and skeletons and stuff like that. And yeah, we throw Halloween parties and spooky places. we don't have that many great spooky places. We have some like haunted castles and haunted houses, of course. I know there's one house that's supposed to be like the most haunted one in Sweden. Borgvattnets Prästgård, I think it's called. That one is, I don't know if anyone goes there for Halloween though. Maybe that would be a good place to rent to stay over for Halloween, because that one's supposed to be pretty haunted. And there is a castle not far from where I live, where they say that this young girl got locked up. They sealed her in the wall, and at night you can hear her scream, they say. So that's a pretty spooky place that I go sometimes. They usually have a Christmas market that I visit. Gloom and Bloom TV again asks, also, is your art for sale? I love your drawings. They make me feel like I'm back in the 90s watching home movies, cartoon show. No, it's not for sale. I mean, if you wanted to buy a painting, you could. But yeah, I don't sell it anywhere. But I like to, and I like to paint and draw more than I do, because I love art. And I'm really happy that you like my art. Thanks a lot, because I often feel like it's not good enough. Like when I look at the artists that inspire me, I always feel like I'm never going to be as good as they are. So I'm really glad you like my art. I'm going to get some more coffee. Okay, Elsie Cheyenne? I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Sorry, Elsie. Asks, if you were to make a film about a creature from Swedish folklore, what would it be? Oh, yeah, the one I mentioned earlier, I think Tomten, probably. But yeah, it wouldn't be a horror movie. It would probably, maybe it'd be a Christmas movie. And yeah, it'd be fun to make a movie that kind of explores how he went from this little guardian spirit thing to a symbol of Christmas and kind of becoming synonymous with Santa Claus. Probably make a movie about that. That's what I would do. Dessers Messers asks, what has been your greatest Halloween costume? I haven't really had a Halloween costume since I was a kid until this year, I think. So yeah, this one, Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. Probably, because I spent a lot of money on that jacket. It's a good thing it's cold here in Sweden, so I can actually wear it. Helen Diaz 5440 asks, if you were a horror movie monster, who would you be? Dracula, maybe, I think. Yeah. I like to be a ghost too, but yeah, maybe Dracula or something like that. Like, yeah, I think Dracula would be pretty cool to live in a castle and just be a vampire and wear capes. Yeah, Dracula. Kiara Valentine asks, I know that you play video games. Do you play on consoles or PC as well? Do you also play smaller indie titles? There are quite a few I'd love to discuss with you. I mostly play on the PlayStation 5 because it's very convenient, and I have like, this is supposed to be a gaming PC, but I mostly play like old 90s point and click games and stuff on it. So I play on my computer sometimes, but mostly on the PlayStation 5. And I haven't really played a lot of indie titles lately because I don't play a lot of video games, and it's hard for me these days to get hooked on a game So I usually just play the games that really catch my attention, like if there's a new Resident Evil or something like that. But I know there are a lot of great indie titles that I haven't played. One that comes to mind, this one's not a new one, but one that I've played is it Welcome Home? No, Going Home? What's it called? I know I played one, something Home, where you come back. It's set in the 90s and you come home, you've been away, and everyone's gone. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but that one was great. Gone Home is the title. That one is nice. That's since you asked about indie games, I really like that one. Freaka Boogie asks, do you like 70s Giallo movies? Bird with Crystal Plumage, Deep Red, The Red Queen Kills 7 Times, etc., etc. And do you have any favorite well-known ones and obscure ones? Do you like any of the Warren magazines from the 70s? Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella? And also, do you like the Thriller TV series from the UK by Brian Clemens? Would love to hear your thoughts on any of those items. Thanks. I've never seen the Thriller TV series, no. I do like, I haven't watched a lot of Giallo movies, but of course I like Suspiria. Deep Red, I've seen it years ago. I remember liking that one. And I actually just watched The Red Queen Kills 7 Times a few months ago, maybe. And that was not my favorite, but it was fun. Yeah, I really like Phenomena by Dario Argento. It's one of my favorite horror movies, I think. It's a lot of the plot and the way the characters act and stuff they don't make sense a lot of the time, and there's a lot of weird stuff in that movie, but it just got such an atmosphere. It's such a dreamlike. It's so, yeah, I don't know. I just really like the way that movie makes me feel. Phenomena. That's one of my favorites. I haven't watched a lot of Italian horror thriller stuff. I know Black Sunday is one that I really like, but that's not Giallo. That's more like a gothic horror. But I like that one. And you asked something more. Oh yeah, the magazines. I've only read Creepy, I think, and yeah, I like those. I love the covers that Frank Frazetta did for Creepy, and I love her little host, Uncle Creepy. I think is such a great character. I've read some other stuff. I know I have like a collection of comics from like 50s and onward. But yeah, I don't read a lot of comics, but yeah, I like them. Adrian Lee. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. 26. I'd love to know what your favorite book is and how you take your coffee. I take my coffee black as a shadow on a moonless night. And my favorite book. That's a hard one. And I really like The Woman in Black. I think that book was great just because, I just love the atmosphere in that book. I love gothic horror and I love ghost stories. That one is definitely one of my favorites. And the movie is pretty great too. But yeah, that one's the first one that comes to mind. Yeah, I think so. Adam asks, do you believe in ghosts? Congrats on 5K. Thank you. No, I don't think so. I want to believe in ghosts, and I love hearing about ghosts and experiences that people have had and ghost stories. but you know, I've never seen anything myself like that can't be explained. So no, I don't really believe in ghosts, but I'm open to the idea that there might be ghosts, whether or not they are the souls of people who have passed on, or if there's something else. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. So there could be ghosts, but no, I don't think I believe in ghosts. But I want to believe in ghosts. So, yeah. Rebecca G8589 asks, congratulations on the 5K. Thank you very much. You have such a unique and cool perspective, and I have a lot of questions because it would be great to learn more about you, but I'll try to just list a few. What made you decide to create a YouTube channel? Well, as I said earlier, I watched a lot of JonTron and Angry Video Game Nerd, and I kind of wanted to do what they did, but yeah, as I went on, I found my style a little bit more. If you look at my early videos, you notice that they're a little bit more fast-paced, and I talk really weird. I think anyone who does YouTube will feel that they talked weird in their early videos, because yeah, you know, when you sit down and you record something, you really think about the way you speak, and like, this is how you're supposed to talk in a YouTube video, and as you go on, you become more relaxed and you start being yourself more. And I'm not even answering your question anymore. But yeah, that's as I said, JonTron and those guys really inspired me, and I wanted to do what they did. That's why I started. What are some of your favorite non-horror books and films? Yeah, the movies, as I said, Home Alone, Muppets Christmas Carol, Groundhog Day, Homeward Bound. Books, yeah, I, as I said, A Woman in Black, as I said earlier, and As I'm editing this, I realized that you asked about non-horror books, which I completely missed when I shot the video. And I don't read that many non-horror books, so yeah, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say A Christmas Carol, because I guess you could consider that horror because it's a ghost story, but yeah, I'm gonna say A Christmas Carol. That is one of my favorites. I don't read a lot because I'm a pretty slow reader, but I always have a book that I read. And you know, I've read some Stephen King. Favorite books, I'm gonna have to go take a look in my bookshelf maybe. Be right back. Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite book, but Silence of the Lambs was pretty great. That one, I think the book was, you know, the movie is fantastic, but the book was even better. And I'm gonna read Hannibal soon. So yeah, Silence of the Lambs is a pretty great book, but I guess if I had to pick a favorite book, it would probably be some collection of like short stories, ghost stories. I have a bunch of those, and I just love ghost stories, but it's hard to pick a favorite. She also asked, if you could visit anywhere, where would you go and why? You know, I always wanted to go to Italy because I love Italian food, but maybe Whitby, where Dracula takes place. That seems like a nice place to go, and I love cemeteries and ruins and stuff like that. I also love to go to Scotland because they have a lot of cool haunted castles and stuff like that. Yeah, there are a lot of cool places. My car is really loud. Hokkaido seems pretty cool. I want to go to Sweden Hills. That would be fun. Maybe celebrate Midsummer in Sweden Hills. And she also asks, what is your favorite thing about where you live, and what would you change if you could? I like it here because it's it's pretty close to the town, where like a small town, so I can just It's like a 15 minutes drive if I want to go grocery shopping or stuff like that. But it's also, it's still in the countryside, and I like. I don't think I could live in a city, so I like it here. I'd prefer to live somewhere more remote with less neighbors, and also there's a big road pretty close to here, so you can always hear the cars passing by. And I used to live in another village not far from here. It was kind of in the middle of nowhere, close to the woods, and I had like 2 neighbors, and it was very nice. There was a little pond, super quiet. The only thing you heard were like the birds, the wind, and the trees, and that was just really nice. So yeah, if I could change anything about the place I'd live, I'd make it more remote, less trafficated, fewer neighbors, more trees. Yeah. And she also asks, I would also love to learn more about your art and golden retriever. Yeah, my art is, I always wanted to make a children's book, but I never got around to it. But some of my favorite artists are children's book illustrators. So I think my art is very influenced by artists like that, like Swedish ones like Sven Nordqvist. So yeah, I think, when I make art, I always want it to be fun to create, fun to look at, and yeah, I guess it always ends up kind of looking like a children's book illustration. And my golden retriever, yeah, well, I tell you all about him earlier. As I said, got him back in 2015. He's a real good boy. What else is there to say? He likes to smell his own farts. Okay. Eddie MCG. Hey Chris, is there a Swedish version of the Strigoi that you know of? Thanks for your videos. I really look forward to seeing them. Cheers. Cheers. Strigoi, is that's some creature from folklore, right? Oh yeah, that's kind of like a vampire thing. We don't really have like vampires in Sweden. We only have werewolves, which is a shame because I like vampires. But no, we don't really have a Swedish equivalent of that. I guess the closest thing to it would be Gast, which is kind of like a person who died in a violent or tragic way or committed suicide or something like that. Then they come back as a corpse ghost, and they're real nasty. But it's a ghost. It's not really like a vampire. But yeah, sadly we don't have those. But interesting question. Robert K. F. Hart 5890 asks, what is the scariest creature concept to you? I think ghosts are pretty scary because like you never know if they're there or not, if it is a ghost or if it's your imagination, and they could be real. It's so hard to like disprove that they're not, and they're dead. Dead people shouldn't come back. And I actually think zombies, if they're done right, they're pretty scary. Because, yeah, as I said, like, dead people shouldn't be moving around. Yeah, there's just something creepy about a corpse walking around. And I mean like a corpse, not like those boring infected zombies with some black veins that run around and hiss. I mean like Resident Evil, like the first Resident Evil game, when you're walking around dark corridors, and yeah, those kind of zombies I think are pretty scary. Guadalupe Villarule 4455. Do you like Ghosts, the Swedish band? Yeah, I haven't listened a lot to him, but there are a few songs that I've listened to quite a bit, and I own one of their albums. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's their second album, but yeah, they're good, and I really like the shock rock thing that they've got going on. It's really cool. But yeah, I'm not their biggest fan or anything, but they're cool. They're good. I like them. Same person asks, how were your teenage years? They were a lot of fun. I didn't really give a crap about school, so I never did any homework or anything like that, and I partied a lot and listened to Metallica, and had long hair, and I was pretty fat, but I had a good time. I was really stupid, pretty dumb back then, but I had a lot of fun, at least. Yeah. And the same guy again, Guadalupe Villarreal, asks, what is your favorite love story? My favorite love story? My favorite love story? That's a hard one. I don't know, I really like Groundhog Day, so maybe Groundhog Day, but yeah, that's probably not my favorite love story. Okay, I'm just gonna say Groundhog Day, because it's a pretty heartwarming story in the end, I think. It's not really about the love story, like, it's part of it, but yeah. Maybe if a better one pops up in my head, I'll let you know. The Real Jack Arthur, sup. I usually don't say sup. I don't know why I said sup. What's the best Scooby-Doo movie episode, Chris? Good question. I really like the first live action one. Oh no, I'm running out of battery. Hold on. Damn it. Why? Okay. What's the best Scooby-Doo movie / episode, Chris? Yeah, the first live action one, I remember I went to see it in the cinema, and that one, I haven't watched it in a long while, but I want to rewatch it because that one's pretty funny. Yeah, I kind of have a little crush on Linda Cardellini. She's pretty cute. But yeah, I like the first live action movie, and like Zombie Island was really cool. I know there's one, The Witch's Ghost or something, that also came out in the 90s, I think, that looks pretty cool. But I never saw that one, but I should definitely check it out. Polly Pickpocket 1213. Love your videos, and I get so happy when I see a new upload from you. I really liked your video on horror games, and I was wondering if you would consider playing horror games on your channel one of these days. I would definitely watch. I also love your dog. Well, I bet Alfred would love you too if he met you, because he loves everyone. Yeah, I haven't really thought about doing like a Let's Play, but I guess that would be fun. And I definitely want to talk more about horror games, because I think they're a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll do more videos on horror games, definitely. Maybe one day I'll do a Let's Play. If you guys really want me to do it, I could. Yeah. Assorted Greens. Congrats on 5K, thank you. How do you stay positive during the dark winter months up there in Sweden? Well, I really like the winter. Actually, I like the cold, I guess. I don't like the dark as much. It doesn't have to be dark all day the way it is in December, but yeah, I love Christmas and I love snow, and I just love wearing flannel shirts and cozy sweaters and stuff like that. And of course, winter goes on for a long time over here, so you do get tired of it. But I guess it just, yeah, I like winter. I like fall and winter. I think they are my favorite seasons, so that helps Like if you just hate winter, I guess you'd be pretty miserable during those months. But I like it, and you know it usually helps. I think to watch movies that take place in winter that you like. Like I like to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Groundhog Day and Christmas movies and stuff like that during the winter. Yeah, like now all the leaves are gone, so it's all like gray and brown and dark. But if you watch something like Twin Peaks, then you feel a little bit better about everything being kind of gray and wet, and yeah, just watching stuff to match the weather, stuff that you like, it helps. Or listen to some good music or something like that. That's how I do it. Jake 3377, would you rather never wear flannel again or never watch Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey again? Wow, that's a hard one. A plaid shirt doesn't have to be flannel, but I guess that's not what you mean. Like, I guess you mean like, could I wear I'm not gonna cheat my way out of your question. That's a hard one. I guess I could just live with the memory of Homeward Bound being a really good movie, never see it again. I'd be sad, but I'm gonna go with never watch Homeward Bound, I think. I don't like it, but yeah. Honor Mellow 89. Hey yo, Chris, what kind of hikes do you like going on? Also, what are some of your favorite non-horror movies you enjoy? Besides Homeward Bound, I adore Princess Bride and Willow. For a future video, may we have a little tour of your comic manga shelf? I spotted a few I own. I like going on hikes in the woods. I hiked up a mountain this summer in Taipei, and it was really hot, and I was wearing long pants, which turned out to be a good thing because there was a lot of mosquitoes. Yeah, but I prefer hiking in the woods, preferably somewhere where there are a lot of pine trees. And yeah, I like hiking around lakes. Lakes are nice. Yeah, favorite non-horror movies. Yeah, the ones I already told you, and I really like a lot of Christmas movies. It's a Wonderful Life. I guess it's technically not a Christmas movie, kind of, but yeah, I really like that one. Uncle Buck, it's a great movie. Weird Science is a lot of fun. Also, yeah, I could do a tour of my little bookshelf there. I don't read a lot of comics, and I don't read a lot of Japanese comics at all. I just it's Ito, Junji Ito. I like him. I haven't read all of the books that I have there, but yeah, sure, I could show you guys my books sometime. Louis or something like that. Love your vids. Thank you. Okay, yeah, thank you. Carolina Turska. Hi Chris, congratulations on your new subscribers. Thank you. 1. What's with the dial telephone on your desk? Is it for the sentimental aesthetic purpose, or do you actually use it? No, it's I found it in in my garage. It doesn't work. I don't think so. Nobody uses landline here anymore. It's just there for the videos and because it looks nice. 2. Do you live only with your dog in this creepy house? If yes, don't you get lonely at times? Yes, it's just me and Alfred, and no, I don't get lonely because I have Alfred, and I like being alone. I'm pretty introverted, and I have a lot of fun on my own a lot of the time, so I enjoy it. 3. Have you ever wore anything different than flannel and denim? Best wishes from Poland. Stay spooky. Yes, I've worn flannel and corduroy. Neum Red asks, what are your favorite albums? First one that comes to mind is Hounds of Love with Kate Bush. I just really like Kate Bush. I don't have all of her albums yet, but that one is really good. First one is pretty good too, The Kick Inside. Yeah, and I really like So with Peter Gabriel. It's not an album that I come back to a lot, but I listen to it a lot for a while. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band with the Beatles is pretty great. It's probably my favorite Beatles album. Recently I've been listening a lot to an album called Whistle of the J with Bill Staines, which is really good. Video projects by Lena A. Wow, Chris, 5K subscribers. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you. I love your videos since day one. So hey, I wanted to ask if you are going to show us more of Sweden. I mean, like, are there any haunted castles or haunted places in general, or just weird places with scary backstories? You can make something like short films telling us the stories. You're so good at telling stories. Thank you. That's all for now, but keep in mind I have more questions. Always have been a troubled mind. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about going to a haunted place and shooting a video, kind of like a ghost hunting show. That would be fun. Maybe I could do a bunch of those, like a little series. Yeah, definitely. That's an idea I've been brewing in my head for a while. But Ghost Note 6. From idea to final edit, which video took the longest to complete? What's your favorite deciduous tree? Also, I'm American, so of course I'm curious about what you do for a day job. And I'm 50-50 on whether the phone on the desk actually works. Let's solve that mystery. Congrats on the 5K. Thank you. I actually haven't seen your last two videos yet because I'm saving them for when I really need a pick-me-up. That's nice. The video that took the longest time to complete, maybe instead of Twin Peaks, I think so, because I shot a lot of stuff for that, and that one took a while. Yeah, probably that one. My day job, I change tires. I fix tires, I sell tires. Yeah, as I said earlier, the phone doesn't really work. I mean, maybe it doesn't, I haven't plugged it in, but yeah, it's just there for decoration. Rocket JJM. Love your content, Chris. Thank you. My question to you is, what is a film that is too scary for you? Like, what is the one that traumatized you so bad you can't watch it again? Thank you for everything you do. Like, I don't think a movie ever scared me that bad, at least not like in recent years, maybe when I was a kid, but there's probably something that I'm not gonna rewatch. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. It's not a movie, but is it season 7 of American Horror Story? I'm not sure if it's 7, but the hotel one. That one, like, I've tried watching it 3 times, I think, but last time I didn't even finish the first episode because it's just so much. It's so dark and there's so much violence, and there's just a lot of like sexual violence, which just is hard to watch. I don't like it, and it's like there's no light in the darkness. There's no like, most of the characters are they're not very sympathetic. I can't. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna finish that one. It's just too much. It's too dark, and I just feel like crap when I watch that one. So that one, American Horror Story Hotel. Saturn Samurai asks, if you could have a one-on-one conversation with any film director, living or dead, who would it be? Additionally, what is something you would ask them? Also, congratulations on the 5K subs. Thank you. I guess John Hughes, because he's dead, so I'll never get a chance to talk to him, and he's one of my absolute favorite directors and script writers. What would I ask him? I think I'd just like to sit down and just have a chat with him, talk about movies or music or whatever, but I'd probably ask him like what his favorite movie is. Yeah, that's what I'd ask him. 4444 Lowbrow asks, when/where/how did you learn your English? Did you take it during your standard schooling, or have a tutor, or use an app/program? Have you ever, do you want/intend to spend any time in any English-speaking countries? If so, why? For how long, and how was it? Just curious, since your English is so good, in my opinion. Thank you. Especially for someone seemingly still so young, i.e. limited time to have practiced it. I'm a North American asking, by the way, in case that matters. Yeah, I guess I learned that, we learned English in school, but I think it's mostly like movies and video games. Most people who speak English pretty well here in Sweden would tell you that it's because they grew up watching, like, we don't dub movies and shows unless it's a kids movie. We have subtitles, and we're exposed to a lot of American culture, movies, music, so that's probably where I learned most of it. Video games and movies, I think. Have you ever, do you intend to spend any time in English speaking country? I've been, yeah, I want to go to the US at some point, in Canada, and I've been to the UK. I've been to London, but I was like 13. Yeah, I want to go there again. I want to go to Scotland. Ella1234LER. Hi Chris, I just wanted to tell you that your videos make me feel really understood in my interest and being different. So thank you, and here's my question. If you had to decide for one horror/spooky era, which would it be? Like Victorian horror or more 70s, etc. Also, do you enjoy Tim Burton's movies? If so, which one is your favorite? Much love. Thank you. You mean like if I had to live in that era? I'd probably... I don't think Victorian London would be a very fun place to live, even though I love that, the aesthetic of it. So maybe I'm gonna say 90s, because the 90s were pretty spooky. I mean, Halloween in the 90s was just the best, and I'm very nostalgic about the 90s. So if I can pick the 90s, I'd go back to the 90s. I love the 90s. It was great. And do I enjoy Tim Burton's movies? Yes, I do. I love Tim Burton. Like, I haven't seen all of his more recent movies. Like, I haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and yeah, and I haven't really enjoyed some of the newer ones I've seen, like Beetlejuice. I didn't think it was great. But I love some of his older stuff, like the original Beetlejuice is great. Ed Wood is fantastic. Oh yeah, Edward Scissorhands is fantastic. Yeah, I really like him. Same person again asks, if you were a character in those typical group of friends goes into the woods in a cabin and die films, when and how would you most likely die? Or are you the final girl? I don't think I'm the final girl. I think I die pretty fast. Maybe? Yeah, I think I die pretty early on. Because I'm pretty dumb. Yeah, I don't think I'd live very long in one of those movies. Marzipan Crossing, which is a great username, asks, what's your ultimate comfort movie? Or movies when you are feeling down? Homeward Bound always gets me in a good mood. Uncle Buck, movies like that, feel good movies. Groundhog Day, the movies that I mentioned earlier that are my favorites, they usually get me in a good mood. Yeah. Serena Chaos. 2 questions. What inspired you to create your channel? Also, if you could go anywhere in the world soon, where and why? Absolutely love your channel, by the way. Thank you. Yeah. As I said earlier, JonTron, James Rolfe. If I could go anywhere in the world, probably go back to Taipei. Jason Rice 2148. Have you seen Mr. Vampire? If so, what did you think? No, I haven't seen Mr. Vampire, but it sounds pretty great. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna take a look, definitely. Betty Bat 5133. I'm gonna stop saying those numbers now. I don't know why why I say those numbers. Do you have plans in exploring your potato skits and make like a short film or something like that? Yeah, it would be fun to make a potato movie. I love making those fake trailers. It's so much fun, and I'm not sure what it would do if I made a short film. It would probably be like a really dumb, funny slasher comedy. Yeah, maybe I will do that someday. 666 Raven M asks, congrats on 5K, Chris. Thank you. I have been watching you for a while, and it is amazing to see how far you've come. You've mentioned scripts, so I'll ask a technical question. What does your writing and planning process look like before you start filming? Do you do any kind of storyboards for the skits that you do in the videos? I'm a huge fan of the potato skit. I'm honestly really interested in how you make these visions come to life on video. Well, I basically just sit down and write what I'm gonna say, and I'll like mark the stuff that I want to say in front of the camera. I'll mark it red, so I know what parts to say in front of the camera and what is just going to be voiceover. And for the little skits that I do, I don't really. Sometimes I'll write the dialogue just so I don't get it wrong, but it's usually all in my head. I don't usually have a script for those, so it's not like a very strict and organized process. It's kind of just I make up a lot of stuff as I go, and yeah, sometimes it turns out pretty good. Sometimes I forget stuff, so yeah, and I usually don't rewrite my scripts. I've done that sometimes, and I should, because it always turns out a little bit better when I rewrite something. Sometimes I do that because I feel like this is not good, and I just start over. But yeah, basically I just write the script, shoot, do the voiceover. It's yeah, pretty simple process. Corvid asks, what are your thoughts on A24's brand of horror? I like the elevated storytelling of A24's horror films, but they just don't resonate with me as much. Yeah, I haven't seen like a ton of it, but yeah, I like it. Sometimes I feel like that kind of horror can try a little bit too hard. I watched a movie called Saint Mauds or something like that. I don't know if it's an A24 production, but it felt like an A24 production. And I was just like, come on. Enough with the elevated horror stuff already. Like, don't try to be more than you are. Like, I love some of those movies. Like I went to see that newer movie a while back. What's it called? Bring Her Back, I think. Yeah, that one was fantastic. I love The Witch, and yeah, so yeah, I like it, but it's not my favorite. I like horror that's scary, but also, fun, and I like it, but it's not my favorite. Natalie Drinks Tea. First of all, congratulations on over 5,000 subscribers. Thank you. That is amazing. My questions are, what are your favorite Swedish snacks, salty or sweet? What scared you the most as a kid, and what scares you now? Which country would you love to visit in the future? My favorite Swedish snacks. There's a candy. We have something, we call it like nature candy, kind of. It's like supposed to be a healthier alternative to candy, but it's basically just candy. But they have this one kind that's almonds with chocolate and cinnamon. They're so good. That one's my favorite. What scared you the most as a kid, and what scares you now? As a kid, everything scared me as a kid. Yeah, like a lot of Swedish kids shows like Skrotnisse scared the crap out of me. So yeah, stuff like that really scared me, and like Santa masks. And what scares me now, I guess I scare myself a lot. Like when I go to bed sometimes I'll try to like think of the scariest, I'll try to come up with really scary scenarios and like scare myself. When you go to bed and you turn out the lights, it's so easy to scare yourself, and that's when you come up with the scariest stuff. So and it's usually something that has to do with ghosts or stuff like that. So yeah, I scare myself a lot. Which country would you love to visit in the future? Italy, Scotland. Italy for the food, Scotland for the haunted castles, and yeah, maybe more. I'd like to see more of Eastern Europe because I know they have a lot of like cool old churches and stuff like that. Yeah, I've never been to Norway. Norway seems pretty nice. Singapore would be cool. Iron Wallabinga. Congrats on 5,000. Thank you. The top 5 directors and your favorite film from each. Ooh, John Hughes is a favorite one of mine, and I think my favorite movie of his. He didn't direct Home Alone. He only wrote that one. It was directed by Chris Columbus, I think. So I can't pick that one. But I really love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's a great one. I love John Candy. He seemed like such a nice guy. But yeah, I had to say John Carpenter. I don't think any of his movies are like my favorite movies of all times. Of all time. But he's just done so many good ones. You know, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, I'd watch a lot growing up. That one's like, if I made a top 100 favorite movies, I think Big Trouble in Little China would be on there, and Halloween probably. So yeah, John Carpenter is pretty great. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Hitchcock, and he's pretty great. Alfred Hitchcock, kind of a boring choice, I guess, but it's hard to. Rob Reiner is pretty great. It's kind of hard to choose between Misery and When Harry Met Sally, because they're both really great. Depends on my mood, I guess. Kathy Bates is pretty great in Misery, so maybe I'll say Misery. What's that? John Hughes, John Carpenter, Hitchcock, Rob Reiner. I guess Harold Ramis is not really, you don't really think of him as a director. I guess you think more of him as Egon in Ghostbusters, but he did direct Groundhog Day, and I love that movie. So yeah. Mitzlu, are you really as chill as you seem, or is it a facade that masks a churning ball of rage within? That's right. No, I'm just kidding. I am pretty chill. I'm very relaxed. I think if you... sorry, Alfred, I'm not really angry. Come here. Come here. Yeah, I am pretty chill. If you ask people who know me, I think they're gonna tell you that I'm very calm, quiet, shy. I can be a bit of a goofball if I'm with my best friends. But yeah, I'm usually pretty chill. What are you doing? What are you doing? Mitzlu again asks, what do you usually do on Christmas Eve? I go to my mom's house and we have Christmas food, and then we watch Donald Duck, which is a Swedish Christmas tradition. And then I mysteriously disappear, and Santa comes and hands out gifts, and then I come back, and yeah, we eat some more food, and it's pretty great. I love Christmas. Video projects by Lena A. Again asks, question number 2, how about Chris Winger, The Ghost Frequency, with Alfred? Yeah. If you don't know about The Ghost Frequency, that was in an older video I did called My Real Ghost Stories, I think it was called, which is one of those older weird videos where I hadn't really found my style. I had this joke about doing a show called The Ghost Frequency. But, you know, if I think there was a video game recently or something like that that was actually called The Ghost Frequency. And I was like, I came up with that first. That's my idea. But yeah, if I actually do, like, visit haunted houses and stuff, maybe I'll call it The Ghost Frequency. I don't know if I'm going to bring Alfred, though. I think he doesn't like going in the car. Milk for a snack. I would like to know if you have any deep admiration for tree houses, or if you ever had one, / yearn for one. Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, whenever I'd watch a movie where the kids had a really cool tree house, I always thought, man, that would be so cool to have like a secret clubhouse. Yeah, I didn't expect this question. But yeah, the tree houses are pretty cool, but I never had one when I was a kid. But yeah, they are pretty cool. Ultra Heavy Beat asks, have you heard about the Becca Hest, and does it scare you as much as it does me? What is your favorite mythical creature? Yeah, I've heard about it, and it's not the scariest one. For those of you who don't know, it's a horse that, like, if you sit on its back, I think you can't get off, and it'll ride off into a lake and drown you, which is pretty scary. But no, it doesn't. It's not the scariest one in my opinion. And yeah, my favorite one is Tomten. Maya Melina 6. I'm curious about your favorite insect, favorite bands, and your favorite artists. I ask because I think we are kindred spirits. I love nature, all animals, including insects and plants. Also, horror is my favorite genre. My favorite band is Ghost, the Swedish band, Invent, Animate, and the singer Aurora. Aurora. I love the artists Salvador Dali and Alphonse Mucha. Mucha? I'm not sure. I know. So the camera ran out of battery. I'm gonna shoot the rest on my phone. I hope you guys can live with the quality. I guess there aren't that many questions left, so yeah. Maya Melina 6. I'm curious about your favorite insects, favorite bands, and your favorite artists. I ask because I think we're kindred spirits. I love nature, all animals, including insects and plants. Also, horror is my favorite genre. My favorite band is Ghost, the Swedish band. I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. Congratulations, Chris, and thank you for the great videos. Much love from South Carolina, USA. Thank you. My favorite insect. I'm kind of scared of bugs. They kind of freak me out. But my favorite one, ladybug, probably, because they're kind of cute. I'm not scared of ladybugs. Favorite bands. I listened a lot to Metallica back in the day. Maybe not that much these days, but they'll always have a special place in my heart. I was really into the Beatles, and that's like a band that I'd always come back to now and then. They have a lot of great songs. Kate Bush is one of my favorite musical artists of all time. She's really great. Favorite artists, I guess you mean like artists as in a painter or an illustrator. There's a Swedish illustrator named Sven Nordqvist. Sven Nordqvist, I'm sorry, who illustrated some of my favorite books as a kid, called Petson and Findus. He's definitely one of my favorites. I love Stephen Gamble, who did the illustrations for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Arthur Rackham is pretty great. Another Swedish one is called Larsson. I went to see his house last summer where he lived, and it was pretty cool to see all the locations that he would put in his paintings. To see them in real life was pretty cool. Liam, or Leah HM, I guess. Congrats on 5K, Chris. Thank you. So well deserved. I have 2 questions. 1, what is your favorite David Lynch film? I'm gonna have to say Fire Walk with Me, because I just love Twin Peaks, and I think that is a really good movie. Twin Peaks is like my favorite thing of all time. So, Fire Walk with Me. What is your favorite cryptid? Always a pleasure to watch your videos. Wishing you the very best. Thank you, same to you. Favorite cryptid? I don't really know a lot of cryptids, but yeah, Mothman is pretty cool. Yeah, gonna go with Mothman. BB and it says, it's cool that you decided to do a Q&A. As for a question, what makes you happy? Happy spooky season from Norway. Happy spooky season to you too. What makes me happy? Dogs, usually. Like big, dumb, friendly dogs. Always put a smile on my face. Like if I'm walking down the street or something like that, I can't help but just smile when I see them. Dogs. Auteur Gamer. What are your favorite musical artists, bands? Yeah, as I said, Kate Bush, the Beatles. Recently, I've been listening a lot to Bill Staines, as I said, and I've been getting into Strawberry Switchblade, which was recommended to me by a fan. They're not very well known outside of the UK and Japan, I think, and they had a very short-lived career, but it's like a synth pop duo. They're pretty great. What else have I been listening to? I've been listening to Lou Donaldson quite a bit. Jude Bodman. Hi, Mr. Winger. I am a lady from Florida. I absolutely love your videos. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 5 items would you wish to have with you? Well, besides a boat, that is. 5 items. You guys like to ask questions about 5 favorite movies, 5 directors, 5 items that I would have with me. I guess axe, my knife would be like pretty good. Like I know it's not like they're not much fun, but they would be very helpful in a situation like that. Axe, knife, maybe a good book, maybe Stephen King's It, because I've already read it, but it's a very long book and I'm gonna have a lot of time to read, so Stephen King's It. A nice flannel shirt, of course, gotta have a flannel shirt. Number 5, nice plaid blanket, probably like this one. Because, when it gets cold at night and you're trying to sleep and you don't have a blanket, that's awful. So yeah, a blanket. Nice wool blanket. Watch better movies. Asks, what's your favorite video game? My favorite. Fatal Frame 2 is amazing. I love that one. That might be my favorite just because of how great the atmosphere is in that game, and it's like genuinely unsettling. But I also really love Resident Evil 4. I love the original. It has a special place in my heart, and I played it a lot when I was a kid. But I think the remake is just so great. And I don't usually replay games, but the Resident Evil 4 remake I've replayed. I played it 3 times now, I think, which is pretty rare for me. And I feel like I'm gonna play it again because it's just, you can just start playing it and you just keep playing. It never gets boring because the action is so tight and so good, and it has like the best roundhouse kick in any video game, the most satisfying roundhouse kick. But it also has great atmosphere. As silly and stupid as it is, it has great, the environments are so atmospheric, and there are all these lit candles everywhere, and skeletons and skulls and fog and trees, and at the same time it's like a super goofy, funny silly action game, and I love that they kept that aspect of it. Like, it's not as silly as the original. The original, when I replayed it a while back, and I just laughed so hard at some of the dialogue in that game. I think they kept a lot of that silliness, but they improved the characters. Like they feel more like actual people this time around. It's not as funny, but it's still like silly and dumb. But they feel a little bit more relatable, especially Ashley. Like I love the original Ashley because she's so like stupid and annoying, but in a way that just makes me laugh. But in the remake, like you care more about her, and she's a person. And same with Leon. He still like has all these silly, cool one-liners that are just ridiculous, but he still feels like a more or less fleshed out character, like more than the original, but still silly and stupid and fun. I'm sorry, I'm not good at talking without a script. I mess up, but yeah, that one might be one of my favorites. And also, I love, of course, I love Alan Wake, both 1 and 2. I think 2 is probably a better game. Yeah, I also really like Gabriel Knight. I haven't finished Gabriel Knight 2 yet, but Gabriel Knight 1, it's not like a masterpiece or anything, but I just had a really good time playing it. So that's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those are all the questions, I think. Yep. So, if I missed anyone here, please let me know and I will answer your question. And thank you guys so much for all the questions. I had a great time answering them. I'm sorry if sometimes I'm like I don't know what to say. It's just sometimes my mind just goes blank, and I'm not really good at like just talking in front of a camera like this. Yeah, but this was a lot of fun, and yeah, maybe one day when the channel is bigger, I'll do another Q&A. Maybe I could do like a live Q&A or something. That would be a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a great Halloween, and I'm really looking forward to Christmas. Probably gonna make some Christmas video. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.